Hi everybody, this is a review video for third graders. Today we're talking about chapter 4, which is asking us to find the topic sentence of this passage. Okay, here. So many present effort to guard and maintain human progress, to meet human needs and to realize human ambitions are simply unsustainable in both the rich and poor nations. So humans, we are making many present effort nowadays. And these present effort, this is a subject. Okay? The humans effort are simply, this is a verb, and unsustainable. This is a complement. Okay? Our efforts are unsustainable. We can't do this forever. Okay? This is unsustainable in both rich and poor nations. Whether you live in rich country or live in poor country, we can't live like this forever. And the reason why humans making this effort is to guard and maintain human progress. As humans are making progress in our life, we need various stuff from environment. That's why we are making a lot of effort. And to meet human needs, as we live our life, we need a lot of things in our society. So in order to fulfill our needs, we make effort, use the environment. Also to realize human ambitions. Humans, we have ambitions. In order to make our ambition come true, we make a lot of efforts. However, these efforts are unsustainable. We can't do this forever. The reason is because they draw too heavily, too quickly on already overdrawn environmental resource account. And the reason why we can't do this forever is because they refer to this effort. Okay? This our human effort draw on, it means it depend on. Human effort depend on too much on already overdrawn environmental resource account. So when the passage says resource account, this passage is making a metaphor with a uh, bank system metaphor. So for instance, the banks, inside the banks they have a lot of account. You are making account in your banks. In the account, you keep your money. So when it says humans are drawn a overdrawn environmental resources account, resource account refers to just resource. Okay, just it means the money or resource. So humans are already drawing too much, depending on too much on overdrawn environmental resources. And we believe that those environmental resource accounts can be affordable far into the future without bankrupting those accounts. We believe that our account, those accounts, same with a resource account, our natural resource. We believe that our natural resource are forever, limitless. So we cannot possibly make our natural resource bankrupt in the future. So we believe that our resources are affordable. It's accessible forever. Or it's usable forever. Because we believe that our natural resources are usable and affordable, accessible forever without bankrupting, we depend on already overgrown environmental resources account. That's why we can't make our effort forever. It's unsustainable. We are using too much of natural resources. It's running out, natural resources. Okay? So they may show profit on the balance sheet of our generation. Again, they here refer to effort. We are making a lot of effort, and this effort might be able to show some kind of profit on the balance sheet on our generation. So again, balance sheet is a metaphor of a bank or a company. Here we have a record paper in the bank or in the company. On your left side, you have something called your asset. On the left side, the asset is recorded, information about asset. Asset is your own money. Okay? And on the right side, you have a liability. Liability is various information about your company, about your bank, which is a debt. It's not your own money. You eventually have to pay back this liability. And each information about the money, each information about money you have, each information about the debt you have, you call this as an account. Each information is your account. So on your asset account comes the money, amount of money that you have. On your liability account comes the amount of money that you are owed to other people. You have to pay it back. So on this paper, form of this paper, on this balance sheet, this is a type of balance sheet. This is a balance sheet paper, your asset and liability. On this balance sheet, in our generation, if we keep using our natural resource, maybe we can make some profit. And profit account goes to this side. In our generation, we can make some profit using our resource account from this side. However, unfortunately, our children, next generation, will inherit the losses. So in their case, since we use this profit from this side for our generation, their loss. It will be recorded as their debt. Okay. And we borrow our environmental capital from future generation with no intention or prospect of repaying. Our generation, our own generation, we are borrowing environmental capital. Capital also is a metaphor from a bank term. Capital means money. Money. So we are borrowing this money from our future generation. We are borrowing this capital from future generation with no intention of repaying them. Okay? So they may blame us for our wasteful ways. So our future generation can blame us for our wasteful ways. Current generation, we use too much of environmental resources account. And they can never, even though unfortunately our future generation can blame us, however, they can never collect actual money because they do not vote. Future generation, they don't vote. They have no power to make any kind of decision for our generation. They have no political, no financial power. They cannot challenge our decision since they don't have a vote. So, our current generation, we act as we do refer to drawing too much on natural resources. We are doing it this way because we can get away with this. We can run away. We can still run away with this. We can use natural resources and we have no problem. We see profit. It's our future generation. It's our future generation who will have a problem, who will inherit all the losses. That's why current generation just using natural resources so much. So here we have an intro at the beginning, from here to here. Then we have a supporting detail explaining why, what is the problem. Then we have a topic sentence from here to here. Our topic sentence in particular is: we borrow environmental capital, no intention, prospect of repaying. So this is our topic sentence from here to here. Topic sentence. So based on our topic sentence, we know the answer. Number 5. Okay? And moving on to the next question. Question number 1. Unless we are very, very careful, we doom each other by holding on to images of one another based on preconceptions that are in turn based on indifference to what is other than ourselves. Unless here means if not. If we are not very careful, we doom each other. Doom means we harm. We are harming each other by holding onto images. So here, this is a topic. Holding onto image of one another based on preconceptions are in turn based on indifference to what is other than ourselves. Is a topic. We are harming each other. Reason is because we make images of other people. When we make images of other people, we are making these images based on our own preconceptions, our own bias. And that bias also, again, based on indifference to other people. Originally, we are all indifferent to other people. We don't care. We're not interested in other people. We are only interested in ourselves. So we are indifferent to what is other than ourselves. So we are indifferent to other people, and we make preconceptions. We make bias about other people based on our indifference. We are making bias to other people based on our indifference. We don't care what the people are, and we don't know well about the other people, but we still make some bias. We make preconception based on our own indifference about other people. Then we make images of others based on our preconceptions, based on our bias. So when we make images about our friend, when we make images of our colleague, we are making those preconceptions and images based on our bias, and we don't know them well. But we believe that those bias are true images about our colleagues and friends. So that's why if we are not careful, if we are not super careful, very careful, we are harming each other because we are treating others based on this preconception, based on these images about others, but these images and preconception of us having to other people totally incorrect, totally wrong. So we are treating other people wrongly. That's why if we are not careful, we are harming other people. This indifference can be in extreme a form of murder, or it seems to be rather common phenomenon. So since we are making the conception based on indifference to others in extreme form, our indifference, it could be a form of murder. It could be a really extreme form of harming each other. And it seems to me rather common phenomenon. The problem is that these images and making indifference to others and treating others based on our images, it happens all the time. It's a common phenomenon in our modern world. This is really a common phenomenon. It seems to be a problem to this speaker. Okay? And we claim autonomy for ourselves and forget in so doing we fall into the tyranny of defining other people as we would like them to be. So we claim autonomy. Autonomy is the right to make decisions. So we consider our autonomy is really important. We argue we want to have the right to make our decision on our own. So we claim autonomy for ourselves. We consider this right is very important for ourselves. And by doing so, we forget. In so doing, so by arguing our own right only and don't caring about other people's autonomy, by don't caring about other people's image, we forget the fact that we fall into the tyranny of defining other people. So since we are forgetting, we are only claiming our own autonomy. We are ignoring other people's autonomy. So we are falling into a tyranny, we are falling into the trap of defining other people as we would like them to be. So we only defining other people the way we would like them to be. It doesn't matter. Let's say we have a Charles. Charles is a really good person in reality. In truth, Charles is a good person, but somehow we made a bad image about Charles based on our own bias. Then we keep believing that Charles is a bad person. And we define these people we would like them to be. We define Charles as a bad person because how we believe Charles to be. And actually, by doing so, by defining Charles as a bad person, we are falling into the tyranny. We are falling into a trap. We are making a mistake. And we are forgetting the fact that we are making a mistake because we only claim our own autonomy and we don't care about our own autonomy. So we are forgetting the fact that we are making mistake about other people and we are harming other people by doing so. So by focusing on what we choose to acknowledge in them, we impose insidious control on them. So we only focus on what we choose to acknowledge in them. We believe that we believe that Charles is a bad person. So we just keep focusing and we acknowledge only that Charles is a bad person and we impose by saying Charles is a bad person, we gradually, insidious, gradually. We gradually have control on them. We gradually believe that Charles is really a bad person, which is wrong. In fact, Charles is a good person, but we gradually have this conception about other people. And we are forgetting about this fact that we are making mistake, but making image about other people based on our own tyranny, based on our own preconception and bias. So I noticed that I have to pay careful attention in order to listen to others with an openness that allow them to be as they are or as they think themselves to be. So our writer is arguing. Our writer is arguing that we have to pay careful attention in order to listen to others with an openness. So we have to listen to other people with open mind and allow them to be as they are. So we should be allow them. We should be able to allow Charles to be a good person by listening Charles with open mind instead of just making images based on our bias and prejudice and making a wrong decision. Charles is a bad person. Instead, we have to pay attention and we have to listen to Charles with an openness mind and we have to allow them, the Charles, to be a good person and making a more correct image about this other person. The shutters of our mind habitually flip open and click shut. So everybody, we have shutters in our mind. We have doors in our mind. Okay? And that door automatically open, the door automatically flip open, and that door automatically click shut. So by habitually opening and shutting, these little snap refer to door, shutter, opening and closing habitually. Okay? These little shutter form into the pattern I arrange for myself. So this opening and shutting of our door in our mind, it forms a pattern. Or I arrange for myself. It forms a pattern about the image about the people. It forms a pattern of the image about Charles being a bad person based on our own preconception, based on our own shutters habitually opening and closing and making a form of opinion that Charles is a bad person. Okay? So the opposite of this inattention is we are all making this kind of wrong information because we are inattentive to others. We are indifferent to others. Same meaning. Inattention, indifference, same meaning. Okay? So we are making this mistake because we are indifferent to others. We are paying no attention to others. So the opposite of this inattention is love. So we have to love each other. We have to love strangers, others. So the opposite is love and opposite is honoring of others. We have to pay attention, we have to honor other people in a way that grant them the grace of their own autonomy and allows mutual discovery. So in a way, we can give some kind of grace. We can give some kind of honor. We can give some kind of honor to others as well. You see, we believe that we believe that our own autonomy is important. We believe that we claim our own economy, our own autonomy, right, to make decisions is important. If we believe our autonomy is important, we also have to give some grace, we have to give some honor of other people for their own autonomy. That way, by allowing them to have their own autonomy, we can have a mutual discovery. We can have an open mind and we can listen to others and we can find the true identity about other people by listening with open mindedness. Okay? So here, let me erase this. Okay? So from unless to we have intro and holding this topic, and we have support. Then last part is our topic sentence. So opposite of making a mistake and opposite of making image of others is to pay more attention to others and to love other people, to love friends, and also to honoring, to respecting others, and to give them the grace or honor of their own autonomy. This is our topic sentence. So based on our topic sentence here, yes, the correct answer is number 5. Okay, and moving on. So number 2. So here, designing, building, operating, upgrading, eventually retiring infrastructure project is an expensive process. So here, infrastructure project is our topic, talking about infrastructure. So several road or buildings and school building, government building, or other facilities are the examples of the infrastructure. Okay, so designing and building, operating, upgrading, even retiring. When the infrastructure gets old, we have to destroy it and rebuild it. We have to retire those infrastructure and rebuild it. And all this process about the infrastructure project is an expensive process. So it's not free. We have to use our money to do all this infrastructure. Okay? And aging infrastructure is repaired and retrofitted, and as new infrastructure is constructed, incorporating future risks from climate change impact into the design, construction, and operating must become routine. So we have intro here about the infrastructure expensive. This is an intro and introduced our topic about infrastructure, and next part is a topic sentence. topic sentence. So it is saying that while the old infrastructure, aging structure, while old infrastructure is repaired and retrofitted, here, retrofit means repaired, right? While those old infrastructure is repaired and retrofitted, and as new infrastructure is constructed. When we construct a new infrastructure, incorporating future risk from climate change into impact into their design, construction, operating. Here, this is a subject, and this is it has a verbs and subject inside, so we call it as a subject clause. Then we have verb. So incorporating future risk from climate change must become routine. So incorporating here means including. So when we build a new infrastructure, we have to include the future risk from a climate change. And that including of future risk of climate change must become routine in the future infrastructure project because it's more efficient, and this is what our topic sentence is saying. We have to include this impact of a climate change impact into our infrastructure project, and it must be routine. We must include this risk into our project. And the rest of the part is just a supporting detail explaining why we have to include those danger, include those impact into our project. So this is a support. Okay. So the reason why is that if we fail to take those risks into account, so take into account means consider. If we fail to consider those risks into our infrastructure, it will likely to lead to increased maintenance and operating cost. So if we don't care about this climate change impact on our infrastructure, we'll eventually end up paying more maintenance cost. We'll end up paying more operating cost eventually, and shortened service life. And this climate change impact on our infrastructure, it will probably shorten the service life of our infrastructure because in the future, climate change impact is likely to impact more seriously into various infrastructure. So it will definitely shorten the service life of our infrastructure. So failing to screen project for climate resilience will lead to more waste and more infrastructure collapse. So if we fail to screen, so here screen means monitor. If we don't check, screen, monitor, and check. If we don't check a project, whether that project is considered the impact of climate change or not, if we're failing to monitoring, screening, it will eventually lead to more waste and eventually lead to more infrastructure collapse. In the future, our society is more likely to be impacted by more serious climate change impact if we don't consider this impact on our infrastructure. That infrastructure will easily collapse. The stronger infrastructure required may come with a significant upfront cost. Yes, if we think more about infrastructure and if we think more about the climate change impact on our infrastructure more strongly, yes, it means that we have to pay more money upfront cost. When we begin our project, we have to pay upfront cost, pay more money at the beginning. However, but employing thoughtful design strategy can allow for making relatively modest resilience investment now. But if we do some careful, thoughtful design about the climate change impact on our infrastructure, will only cause us relatively modest investment. If we do a careful design, it's not going to be a lot of money. It's not going to really different expensive. No, if we make a careful design, okay, and while still planning for more extreme event down the road. Down the road means in the future. So while we are preparing for more extreme case of event in the future, we are preparing for extreme weather event by carefully think about the infrastructure design, by carefully think about climate change impact our infrastructure. It can save us some money if only we can make a modest amount of investment, making incorporating this impact into our infrastructure. So this approach means incorporating. This approach will well be cheaper. So eventually, we might have to invest more money at the beginning, but eventually, in the end, we'll end up paying less maintenance cost, less operating cost. Therefore, eventually, thinking about carefully about this climate change impact on our project is cheaper than having to retrofit infrastructure from scratch. So it's cheaper eventually. Okay? If we don't do that, the conditions of infrastructure will worsen beyond our expectation. Then we have to retrofit our infrastructure from scratch. From scratch means from zero. So if we don't consider the climate change impact of our infrastructure, infrastructure will worsen quickly. It will worsen. It will get destroyed beyond our expectation. It will get destroyed before our expectation. In that case, we have to repair our infrastructure from from beginning, from scratch. It will be much more expensive for us in the long term. Therefore, having a careful, thoughtful design strategy will eventually make our entire project cheaper. Okay? So, again, let me erase this. We have intro, and we have topic sentence comes here. Then we have supporting detail. Okay, so based on this topic sentence right here, we can see the correct answer is number 5. Okay, so let's call it a day here. Okay, and thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Okay, good job everybody. Thank you. Bye.